In the quiet, tree-lined streets of Maple Grove, Ohio, a picture postcard Midwest suburb where kids rode bikes until dusk and neighbors waved from porches, Mark Thompson was the man everyone admired. At 45, he was the senior accountant at a respected regional firm, the devoted husband of 18 years to Sarah, and father to 14-year-old Emily and 11-year-old Jacob. He coached Little League, led the church finance committee, volunteered at the local food bank, and never missed a PTA meeting. His colleagues called him the Rock. Parents trusted him with their taxes and their children's college funds. Sarah often said, "Mark is the calm in our storm. He's the reason our family feels safe." Mark's routine was clockwork: 6 a.m. jog, black coffee, kiss the kids goodbye, 45-minute commute, home by 6:30 p.m. for family dinner. He remembered every birthday, fixed leaky faucets, and mowed lawns for widows on the block. To the outside world, Mark Thompson was the gold standard of normal, stable, kind, utterly unremarkable in the best way. But beneath the neatly pressed shirts and Sunday smiles lay a meticulously constructed double life. For 12 years, Mark had been hunting, not in the shadows of distant cities, but in the places no one would suspect. Truck stops along I-70, rest areas, and lonely highways within a 3-hour drive of Maple Grove. His victims were young women, runaways, hitchhikers, those society had already forgotten. He chose them carefully, using his accountant's precision to track routines, alibis, and escape routes. He kept a hidden journal in a false bottom drawer in his home office, chronicling each project with clinical detachment. The man who balanced spreadsheets by day kept a ledger of lives by night. No one suspected, not Sarah, who slept beside him, not the church congregation that praised his humility, not the police who occasionally asked him for financial advice on cold cases. Mark Thompson was the perfect predator because he looked exactly like the man you'd invite to barbecue. Between 2011 and 2022, at least 11 young women disappeared along the I-70 corridor through Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Most were transients, runaways, sex workers, or those living on society's edges. Their cases barely made local news. Families searched alone. Police filed them as voluntary missing. But a pattern slowly emerged, all last seen at truck stops or rest areas within easy driving distance of Maple Grove. Detective Rachel Morales, a 38-year-old investigator with the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation and a specialist in long-haul predator cases, noticed the thread in 2018. Same stretch of highway, same age range, same sudden silence, she told her partner. Someone is hunting here, and he's local. The victims shared one chilling detail. Each had received a text from a burner phone right before vanishing. "Need a ride? I'm safe." The messages were polite, professional, disarming. No bodies were found for years, no DNA. The killer was methodical, using back roads, prepaid phones, and cash. He never repeated patterns exactly. He was invisible because he looked exactly like everyone else. Meanwhile, in Maple Grove, Mark Thompson continued his perfect life. He helped organize search parties for 2 of the missing women. As a concerned citizen, he comforted their families at vigils. Sarah noticed he sometimes came home late from client meetings, but trusted him completely. The children adored their dad, who helped with homework and coached soccer. The double life was seamless, until one small mistake in 2022 changed everything. A 19-year-old hitchhiker named Kayla Reed survived. She had accepted a ride from a nice accountant type in a silver sedan. When he pulled off the highway, she fought back, scratching his arm deeply and jumping from the moving car. She lived. Her description? Middle-aged, clean-cut, wedding ring, smelled like coffee and aftershave. Police finally had a lead and DNA under her nails. The DNA from Kayla Reed's attacker matched a partial profile from an unsolved 2015 case. When entered in the national database in early 2023, it hit on Mark Thompson, whose DNA had been voluntarily submitted years earlier when he was a volunteer firefighter after a house fire. The match was 99.98%. Detective Morales stared at the screen in disbelief. The guy who coaches Little League is our predator? SWAT raided the Thompson home at 4:17 a.m. on March 12, 2023. Sarah and the children were stunned as agents tore through the house. In the basement, behind a false wall Mark had built during a home renovation, they found the horror. A soundproofed room with restraints, a collection of victims' jewelry, driver's licenses, and a meticulously organized journal spanning 12 years. Each entry ended with the same chilling line: project complete, back to normal by dinner. Sarah collapsed when shown the evidence. He was my husband. He tucked our kids in every night. Emily and Jacob watched their father led away in handcuffs, the man they idolized suddenly a stranger. Mark said nothing at first, just smiled the same calm smile he used at church potlucks. The community of Maple Grove fractured overnight. Neighbors who had borrowed tools from Mark now locked their doors. The church removed his name from the donor plaque. Parents pulled children from his coaching teams. The double life was exposed, and the betrayal cut deeper than any murder, because the monster had lived among them, loved by them, trusted by them.
In interrogation, Mark Thompson was eerily calm. Over 3 days, he detailed 14 murders, 11 confirmed, 3 more suspected. He chose victims who wouldn't be missed because, in his twisted logic, they were already lost souls. He used his accounting skills to launder small cash withdrawals and maintain perfect alibis. He returned home each time, showered, and kissed his sleeping children goodnight. The most chilling revelation, he had once considered his own daughter Emily as a future project if she ever strayed from the path, a statement that shattered Sarah forever. Mark showed no remorse, only pride in his discipline. "I kept 2 lives perfectly separate," he said. "I was a better father and husband because I had this outlet. It kept me stable." The trial in 2024 was national news. Survivors' families confronted him. Kayla Reed took the stand. He looked like any dad at the grocery store. Mark was convicted on all counts and sentenced to death. As he was led away, he turned to Sarah in the gallery and whispered, "Tell the kids I love them." The courtroom gasped at the audacity. Maple Grove was never the same. The Thompsons' house was torn down. Sarah changed her and the children's names and moved across the country. Emily and Jacob, now teenagers, struggle with the knowledge that the man who taught them to ride bikes was a serial killer. Support groups for families of hidden monsters formed nationwide. Detective Morales retired after the case, saying, "The scariest predators aren't the ones in alleys, they're the ones we invite to dinner." The Black Feather Foundation, named after a victim's keepsake, now trains communities to recognize the subtle signs of double lives. Mark Thompson sits on death row, still writing letters to Sarah begging for forgiveness. She has never replied. The double life ended, but the scars it left are permanent, a powerful warning that the most dangerous monsters wear the most ordinary masks. Mark Thompson's case is more than one man's evil. It is a mirror held up to every community that believes it could never happen here. Experts now teach that the most successful predators are the ones who master normalcy, the friendly accountant, the helpful neighbor, the devoted dad. They exploit trust because we give it so freely. Survivors and families speak out in this final hour. Check the basements, question the 2 perfect alibis, see the man behind the smile. The story of the double life is a powerful call to vigilance without paranoia, a reminder that monsters don't always look monstrous, they look like us. As the sun sets over empty suburbs across America, one truth remains. The most terrifying vanishing isn't a person, it's the illusion of safety we once believed in, and once shattered, it never fully returns.